Hi, Timothy Unkert here. In this video, we're going to complete the Fizzbuzz challenge in Lua using the Lua Love Game Engine. For those of you who don't know, Love is a game engine that runs on Lua, where you can build games and all that kind of thing. We're just going to use it today to output the Fizzbuzz challenge. Now, the Fizzbuzz challenge is a coding challenge where you loop through numbers 1 through 100. If a number is divisible by 3, you print, instead of the number, fizz. If it's divisible by 5, you print buzz instead of the number. And if it's divisible by 3 and 5, you print fizzbuzz. Okay? So, for example, it'd be something like 1, 2, fizz, 4, buzz, 6 is divisible by 3, so fizz, 7, 8, 9 is divisible by 3, so fizz. 10 is divisible by 5, so buzz. 11, fizz. 13, 14, fizz, buzz, because 15 is divisible by 3 and 5. Okay, and you keep going like that. So that is our challenge. We're going to use Love to print that out numbers 1 through 100. If you're interested in the setup, I wrote a blog post on how I set this up. So it's called How to Set Up Lua with Love on a Chromebook here. We're going to use just the standard GNOME text editor, gedit. I don't want any barrier to entry on the text editor. Gedit is fairly straightforward with that. So I should go through how to install that and then how to get the app image for Love and how to use that. Okay, and how to make it executable, change the owner privileges, where to move it, and that kind of thing. Okay, so if you're interested in that, check out that blog post if you want to duplicate my setup. Okay, so, all right, so let's get started. So we're going to create 2 empty strings. The first one I'm going to call string, which I probably should have come up with something better, but I didn't. And then the second one I'm going to call string addition. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a for loop where we loop through numbers 1 through 100. So I'm going to say for, and then we're going to set a variable I. And typically in for loops, we use I as the index variable that increments up throughout the loop. It can also decrease down, but a lot of times you're going up as you go through the loop. So we're going to say for I equals 1. That's where we're going to start. And then we're going to just write the number 100. And that means that's the upper limit. When it gets to 100, we're going to stop the loop. And we're going to increment every time through the loop by 1. Okay, so in Lua, we're going to write for I equals 1, comma, 100, comma, 1, and then do. Okay, and then we're going to say if, okay, and let's just say this, get some syntax highlighting there. So if I is divisible by 3, and the way I do that is I do I and then the modulo operator, 3 double equals 0. So what the modulo operator is, let me explain this a little bit. So the modulo operator, it basically tells you when you divide a certain number by another number, what the remainder is. So if that remainder equals 0, then, so if whatever I is divided by 3, if the remainder of that equals 0, it has to be divisible by 3. Okay, so we're going to start with that. And I, modulo 5, double equals 0. Okay, now the reason why I'm doing both 3 and 5 first is because any number that's divisible by both 3 and 5 is going to be divisible by 3 and 5, right? But if I put just 3 first, it would catch all the numbers that were divisible by 3 and 5, and they wouldn't get down to that final condition of being divisible by 3 and 5. Because if it hits the first condition, it just does that and skips the rest. So we've got to catch the numbers that are divisible by 3 and 5 first, okay? Hope that makes sense. All right, so start off with if, and then I say then, okay? And we're going to go in, and we're going to say string addition equals, well, fizzbuzz, because it's divisible by both 3 and 5, okay? Then we're going to have an else if statement, And now we can do just 3 or just 5. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to do 3. Okay, so if I modulo 3 double equals 0, then we're going to say string addition equals fizz. Okay, we'll do another else if, because some of these numbers are not divisible by 3 and 5, 3 or 5, right? So if I modulo 5 double equals 0, then string addition equals buzz, okay? And then we're going to say else. So this is if it's not divisible by any of those numbers. We're just going to say that string addition equals, we're going to use the toString I. So we're going to change the number I to a string, okay? There's a method to my madness. Bear with me, okay? So this string addition, you'll see what I'm doing with it in a moment. Okay, so we're going to end that if, else statement, conditional statement there. And then we're going to have one right after that. And I'm going to say if I, and then a tilde equals 100. So if I is not equal to 100, then, and why am I doing not equals to 100? Because I'm going to concatenate a comma on here. Okay, so I don't want to concatenate a comma on the last number because we just want the last number, right? So we're going to say string equals string, and then we'll do a double dot. That means we're concatenating, we're adding to a string, okay? String addition, concatenate, and then this comma here, okay? And we might want to do a comma and a space to make this a little bit better, okay? To make a little bit, format it a little bit better. We can play with that when we run it, okay? If it is equal to 100, so we'll have else, the last number, we're going to say string equals string, and we're going to concatenate on string addition, okay? And then we are going to end this conditional statement, okay? All right, so the last thing I'm going to do for formatting is I only want 10 across each row because you can't really scroll around that well on the Love Game Engine. So it just kind of shows you the numbers. And then if I didn't do this next thing, they would just kind of go off on the edge of the screen. I want to make it visible for you. So it's more of a aesthetic type thing that I'm doing here. So I'm going to say if I modulo 10, if that equals 0. So if the number is divisible by 10, then what we're going to do is create a new line. So we're going to say then, we're going to say string equals string dot dot, and to do a new line character in between quotes, we'll put slash and an N, just like that. Okay, so we're going to end this if statement, and we also want to end our for loop. We got to make sure to do that, okay? Now let's see if I can move this up. Let me just troll off here a little bit, move that up. And now this is specific to love, so I'm going to do this function love.draw, and we're going to say love. Now this one's going to make the font slightly larger, so love.graphics.setFont, and then inside that love.graphics. Yeah, it's graphics. I got to put graphics, not graphic. So graphics dot new font, and we'll put a size in here. I think 20 worked well. And then we'll do love.graphics.print, and we'll print out the string, okay? And we'll end that function. And I'm going to save that. And now we're going to run that with love. So I'm in the terminal here, and I'm in the file, and I'm just going to type love dot, and it's probably going to give me a few little errors and warnings, but don't worry about that. So I'm going to hit that, and it's going to go, and there we go. Okay, so let's move that down. So we got 1, 2, fizz, 4, buzz, fizz, 7, 8, fizz, buzz, 11 Fizz, 13, 14 Fizzbuzz, and so on, all the way up. 98, 99 is divisible by 3, so we get Fizz, and 100 is divisible by 5, so we get Buzz. Okay? And we have comments on all of them except for the last one. Okay? So that was the Fizzbuzz challenge done with Lua and the Love Game Engine. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, as it will help get out to more people. I also want to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.